Welcome, guys, on Tough Love Giggles on your number one online radio station, After Five Radio. I am your host, aka the Hype Lady, Miss ThandoAmy. Back to you live all the way from Canada, and today we're going to be hanging out with one of the most phenomenal ambassadors who's based all the way in South Africa, representing Africa Business Leadership and Investment Summit, the Ambassador Oliver Chikodzore. Welcome, Oliver, on After Five Radio.
Thank you so much, Amy, and Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to our listeners and viewers all over the world.
Exactly. Happy New Year to everybody, guys. So just to give a brief background on who you are before we get into the overview of the ABLIS. Okay. Over to you, Mr. Oliver.
Thank you so much, Amy. Once again, so I'm an ambassador at large for the State of the African Diaspora under the Ministry of Trade. I advise on bilateral economic agreements and engagements for the different countries across the world, representing the Ministry of Trade. We are out in UK, and we represent over 350 million people of African descent. I'm also an entrepreneur. My background is investment banking. I do a lot of investment deal structuring, capital raising for large infrastructure projects in Africa. We do quite a lot of events internally and externally. We also assist corporates. I'm an author. I've written 2 books. My first book is called The African Hidden Potential, which is a technical book that supports entrepreneurship development. I also have written a new book, which is called The Owner's Manual for Entrepreneurs. So in our next show, I will be talking about the book. So that's just me in short on this project that we're going to talk about. I am the vice president of the project. I specialize in mobilizations of delegates as well as marketing for the project. That is my role for the project. Thank you.
Right. No, that is awesome. And oh my gosh, you were just surprising me when you're talking there. I'm like, oh, Arthur. Oh, wow. Okay. You have a lot on your belt, and we love that. And good job. So as we get into like ABLIS and you being the VP of it, would you like to tell our listeners and viewers, those who are watching live, what ABLIS is all about, and as we dive right into the project and what to expect?
Okay, thank you so much. So ABLIS is African Business Leadership and Investment Summit, scheduled to take place in Kigali, Rwanda. And it is a timely initiative that its time has come. And as investors, we are bringing together the best minds, your investors, your multinationals, your entrepreneurs, your leaders, your government, and society, to be able not just to talk about the challenges we face as a continent, but to create solutions, because the Africa that we want will not come easy, but we have to intentionally collaborate to be able to create the solutions to build the hashtag Africa that we want. So this event, as I said, is bringing the greatest minds to come up with solutions to address the challenges that we face as a continent.
So why now? Why now?
Yeah, let me just say that I think it is the time. You know, as Africans, we talk too much.
No, but do you not think...
we like...
No, but do you think is it about talking too much, or it's about we were not as united, if I should put it that way, previously compared to now? I think it goes down to unity more than anything.
Yeah, I will talk about unity in a moment, but for now, I just wanted to say, look, I think we need to be... Unity is one of... because there are 2 areas. I think the one is to capacitate our young people, our Africans. We need to capacitate those who cannot help themselves. We also have to unite as a continent. You're right there. We have to unite. And I think we have learned from COVID that one should have critical thinking, but one should also collaborate. And collaboration is only great when it's intentional about the objectives and the vision of what we need to achieve. So ABLIS, African Business Leadership and Investment Summit, it's not a talk show. There are so many events happening across the world. I can tell you, there are so many events. You can name them. You can name them. But
Sorry. I'm
yeah,
just catching up on the talk show part of it, but
yes. But as ABLIS, we are very intentional about creating solutions to the challenges we face. That's why we are bringing together the best minds, investors, I mentioned earlier, sector-specific mentors, different Pan-African organizations, and those that love the continent of Africa. We are coming together to address the challenges, but also to come up with solutions. So this is the right time. And as you know, that Rwanda its transformation agenda. It's a model for the continent. If we can all learn from what President Kagame has been able to do for the people of Rwanda as a continent and execute and implement similar policies that will address the challenges and come up with solutions that drives economic growth, that solves our social challenges, but also, as you mentioned, to have a borderless continent coming together as a continent, because we can't compete, for example, as let's say Rwanda or South Africa can't compete with China, for example. We can't compete with America or with UK or with Brazil. That has a lot of people, but as a continent, if we can unite and have a continental agenda, we can be able to address the challenges, but come up with solutions and be able to improve the quality of life for our people.
Right, awesome. Now that you've actually gotten into Rwanda, sorry, I forgot to put back our. Yeah, now that you've gotten dived right into Rwanda, right? Because I think people will be wondering why Rwanda, because not a lot of people are well versed with what's happening in Africa, because I know Rwanda has opened lots of business opportunities, especially all around the world. Like maybe, I don't know, is it just in Zimbabwe or all around the world? Is it just Africa?
Yeah, I think it's all around the world. Let me just talk about around. One of the other issues we have in Africa we need to solve is to have a borderless, like you see in Europe, you've got the European Union.
Yeah.
So if you are a citizen of Sweden, you can go to France and so forth. So I think that's one area. And Rwanda has been able to remove visa. So all people that belong to the African Union, there's no visa. They will stamp your passport on arrival. So there's no visa if you're an African. If you're coming from outside Africa, you also get a visa on arrival, but there's a smaller fee. I think it's about 60 to 50 US dollars, but I'm speaking under correction here. But there's a very, very minimum fee in order for you to travel to Rwanda, either on business or as a tourist. So Rwanda has been able to address that. Unlike other countries in Africa, it's almost impossible for other African countries to get visa to go. It's difficult for Africans to go to other parts of the continent. I think I need maybe I think about 40 visas to travel to other parts of the continent, unlike in Europe. So I think that's very, very important. And Rwanda has been able to do that. In 2014, I gave a talk into an event called Project Management South Africa, where I talk about in 2014, about 10 years ago, Rwanda's kids was going to school with tablets already. So in terms of AI, technological advancement, they were ahead of most of us. And President Kagame knew that you can't address economic issues if you have not addressed social issues. So I think it's a model that we can all learn as Africans. So I think on the continent so far, we have Rwanda and Mauritius. And even in terms of tax, in terms of policy formulation that are conducive for small business, and for women and youth to be able to develop and grow companies. As you know that, I mean, without entrepreneurship development, without entrepreneurs, nobody gets paid, including the government, because they
Of
can't collect
course.
tax.
Of course. They
So
they,
that's
they
why we
need
have
entrepreneurs. That's true.
they need entrepreneurs. That's why we have to empower societies to create
Right.
more entrepreneurs so that we can create jobs. By creating jobs, economic growth, social challenges, and all that, and resolve that. So that's why we are choosing Rwanda. I think Rwanda is a model for the
Right.
continent of what can be done we don't even need to focus on international investment. We have pan-African investment.
Right.
In South Africa alone, for example, there is an investor that want to invest in Rwanda, want to invest up to 100 million US dollars within the financial service sector. And the ambassador of Rwanda to South Africa, he has just recently established what is called South Africa Rwanda Business Council, where the two countries are having a heartwarming, cordial relationship on how the two countries can work together, not just on the diplomatic level, but also for entrepreneurs and businesses in order for us to build the intra-Africa trade as well as the integration of the African continent.
Oh, that is phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Oh my gosh. I look forward. Apparently, I think in the last 2, 3 years, there's a network that I was working with, who have always been putting it out there that the future is Africa. And if you noticed, a lot of people, like lots of investors from America, are literally coming to Africa because they know the future is actually in Africa. And thank you so much for highlighting a whole lot of that. And those who are actually tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in right now on Tough Love Giggles with your host, aka the Hype Lady, Miss ThandoAmy. Right now, we're actually joined by the ambassador, of the African Business Leadership and Investment Summit, Ambassador Oliver Chikodzore, and he's also the VP of ABLIS. And before we continue, do you mind? Let's backtrack a little bit and talk about the president. Who's the president? How did this come about? And you eventually being the VP and the whole board that we saw, and we're like, oh my gosh, these
What's
people are
happening?
serious. We're not playing. You
Yeah.
guys are not joking.
Yeah, so I just for the audience and for the record, I just wanted to just correct that I am the ambassador at large for the state of the African diaspora, and for the project, I am the vice president of the ABLIS, which is the African Business Leadership and Investment Summit, and I'm responsible for mobilization and marketing. So that's why I'm the vice president of the project. As you know, as I mentioned earlier, we have to bring together the greatest minds. So our president, Ambassador Dr. Shirley Hughes, who is the founder and the president of this project. She's a trailblazing entrepreneur and leader who has a heart for the development of Africa. By the way, apart from this initiative, she has other great initiatives that she's doing. And she ran a company called the Crustas Group. So Crustas Group is a consultant firm that has partnered with Dr. Miles Monroe Leadership Academy, and they are registered. They are out of Abuja. They are registered in UAE, Dubai, in USA, and she has a passion for the development of the African child, of the African people. So she's very, very intentional and passionate and about the continent. That's why she and myself and the team, we came together and say, let's nominate the greatest minds on the continent in order for us to execute this vision of African business leadership and investment time. Its time has come and the time is now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, who are the conference speakers at this event? I'm sure they're going to be international rather than just in our African continent.
We are very intentional. Earlier, I talked to you about that. We are not a talk show. We are not here to do what my mom liked to say, a nice to have. So
Yeah,
we are very intentional as well as who is going to be a speaker and who is
yeah.
speaking. So we have lots of confirmed speakers, such as the Minister of Finance of Zimbabwe, Minister of Tourism of Zimbabwe,
Mm,
the Zimbabwean former Deputy Prime Minister, Professor Arthur Oliver George Mutambara.
mm.
We have a huge delegation coming out of Nigeria. I think there are a couple of even governors that are coming to Rwanda. We also have extended an invitation to His Excellency President Paul Kagame. We have the President of Gambia coming. We have a huge delegation coming out of South Africa, including the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce, including our Deputy President of South Africa. There's also a huge and a heartwarming relationship between Lesotho and Rwanda as well. So we have one of our board members there, Lady Mamotake, who works with me very closely. We also have the Central Bank Governor and a couple of ministers, including the Minister of Trade, Minister of Foreign Affairs, as well as the Minister of Finance. So we have quite a number of confirmed speakers. Internationally, we have a few speakers coming out of Guyana, like Sonia Noels from South America. We have USA, we have Canada. We have more than 50 countries that is confirmed to participate at this initiative. And as I mentioned earlier, that this initiative, even though it says 25 to 28, is starting on the 24th, where we will be talking about the sustainability aspect of the project, because we are
Mm.
intentional about running programs that transcend an event. And the event is just an activity, which is the golf fundraising event and the biggest highlight of the project, whereby we will be doing a golf on the 24th, and that golf event is a fundraising for our newly incubator program that we are establishing first with the government of Rwanda. By extension, we will also explore the other African countries in order for us to be able to capacitate, but also to empower more young entrepreneurs in order for them to be able to build. In Africa, we don't have multinationals like Ford in America, or Google, or Facebook, or Elon Musk, Tesla, and so forth. So we want to empower entrepreneurs, and we want to create multinational companies. We want to have young African entrepreneurs who can create big businesses, so that we can inspire other young people to say, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter the color of your skin, you can do it. We can do it as Africa if we all come together and build the hashtag Africa that we want.
Awesome, awesome. And guess what's funny? I actually have a couple of my friends here who are tuned in, some in the UK, some here in Canada. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shingi Fundira, she's actually based in the UK, and she's an author of two books. And we also have my brother Nico Abote, who's actually based here in Canada. And they have a couple of questions. Actually, the question that I was about to ask next is one of the questions where it says, who can participate, right? And Shingi's saying, but before we get into the question, who can participate, because the next question following was how do we get involved, and how do we partner up? But before we answer that, we can go back to our first question, which was, does it only apply to African passport holders, or like you said, what about if you're British? Or, because speaking of somebody who's in the UK and they only now have just the British passport, how does that work?
Okay. Thank you so much. So I'll start with the passport issue. So if you are born in any of the African continent, any country on the African continent that is part of the African Union, you don't need a visa. So you just go with your passport, you get a stamp on arrival. There are no issues. The only question that we will respond later is on the yellow vaccination card, which is a very, very important information that we need to know. But of course, in Rwanda, how they work is that they've got what is called the RDB, the Rwanda Development Board, that focusing on attracting investment for the country. And then also, of course, assist us in terms of engaging on the VIP protocol, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the government, and so forth. As you can appreciate that we have lots of government ministers and heads of state coming. Then there's the aspect of, if you are not from Africa. If you're not from Africa, you also just have to come. You will pay a minimum fee. I think it's about $60. I'm speaking under correction, but it's a very small fee. And you will get your visa on arrival, because you're coming for an event. And by the way, because we have a partnership with Rwanda Air, you also get 15% discount, because you have registered for the conference, for example, and you're coming for a conference and you're coming to Rwanda, and because there is a partnership. So that's number one. Number two, I thought maybe before we talk about how do we partner and who can participate. Who can participate, I think number one is that, so this is a combination of both. So as I mentioned earlier, greatest minds, meaning that we need investors. So this event alone is estimated to attract more than $100 billion of investments for large infrastructure projects. So we have more than 133 VCs for smaller projects, and we also have collaboration with different investors that are looking at investing minimum $10 to $30 million per project in Rwanda. So investors, startups, businesses, multinational companies, media, government, the government representation, academia. We have partnered with, I think it's called the African Leadership Invest in Rwanda. We have collaborated with them because we have a huge part of what Krustas Group does, which is the company hosting ABLIS, is consultants, but also is training and development programs. We have to develop our people in order for us to achieve the African agenda. So a combination of all that, they will be participating sector-specific mentors. I've mentioned academia, I've mentioned investors, businesses, entrepreneurs, media, and so forth. Even young people, even those that are aspiring to become entrepreneurs. As you know, we have to empower, capacitate, and build more entrepreneurs in order for us to achieve the African agenda. How do we partner? So if you go on our website, which I know Thando you're going to share on the different platforms, which is www.theablis.com, www.theablis.com, you are able to see there are different emails and there are different contact details whereby you can be able to just send us an email or contact us and say, look, I would like to partner or want to be a volunteer or like to participate, and then we can definitely provide you with more information. If in a minute I can just quickly give a rundown of the actual program. So on the 23rd, most delegates arrive. There's an evening networking program at the hotels, some of the hotels that we are staying at, where we'll do a press conference and just do like a meet and greet about the entire program, which we're going to have. On the 24th, we have a golf event, which is exclusive. So the tickets are running out. Please, if you want to participate at the golf activity, please register now as we speak now before this show is has ended. We can only take up to 300 guests. 144 of them will be able to play because we can do a shotgun, which is maximum 144 on an 18 hole. The others will be spectators. Of course, we're going to have a prize giving as well at the end of the evening of the 24th. On the 25th, we're going to be having a masterclass and a workshop in the morning. And after that, we're doing some trade tours. We will divide groups whereby some will be meeting with the president of Rwanda, some will going to Kigali Memorial, some are going to do the different activities, including we're going to have a coffee mixer, experiences, and so forth. So there are different trade tour activities on the 25th. On the 26th, the team that is focusing on exhibition, they will be doing the setup for exhibition and so forth. But we are doing some CEO roundtables, deal structuring rooms for promoters that are seeking for investment, and investors will be coming in the different rooms, which is one of the highlights of the event. That's my huge interest coming from investment banking to facilitate the investment roundtable sessions. And of course, the 27th and the 28th of February, that's when we're going to do the main event. 2,000 delegates under one room. Of course, there will be other activities happening simultaneously. There are government-to-government roundtables. There's the main plenary sessions, keynote address. So, as I said earlier, we're not a talk show. We are here to address challenges, come up with solutions to address the challenges. And that's why we have a highlight, which is an incubator program as a sustainability aspect that we're going to be focusing on as the post-event. So I don't know if our audience has been able to be answered.
I think you may have missed one thing when it came to the process of what do you call it? The process of registration, if anything, because there's a cost to that as well, right?
Yes.
No,
So there are different costs. So
yeah.
there are different costs on registration.
Yeah.
If you can use my link, you get 5% discount. So if you use my name, there's a place where it says on the form, it says, if you go to our website, on the link, it says referee. If you use Ambassador Oliver Chikodzore, you get 5% discount before the 3rd of February. So please note that. So on our website, there are different there are different tickets. There's a prestige ticket. There's a general ticket. So there are different tickets there. So you can choose the tickets of the activities that you like to participate in. You're welcome to participate in all activities. But you're also welcome to just choose the very, very specific activities. So you're welcome to register, or you're also welcome to reach out to us. Especially for those who want to partner, reach out to us. We don't have a one-size-fits-all, so we are happy to engage. Our president, Dr. Ambassador Shelley Hughes, she has a heart for the continent, and she believes in collaboration, that one cannot achieve, as Dr. Miles Monroe said, that every greatest achievement is a synergistics of many minds. When many minds come together, they are able to address and achieve certain objectives. There is a cost involved. Go on our online website, www.theablis.com. If you want a discount, use me as a referee, use my name as a referee, and here you get a discount before the 3rd of February. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. And the good news too for those who cannot make it, can we also let them know that there's actually a virtual attendance?
I cannot confirm that. Yes.
Not yet.
I want to say something. I cannot confirm that. I need to go to the board.
Yeah.
There may be a possibility for us to live stream, as well as we are partnering with CNBC African Forbes, which is one of the biggest business, the biggest business media in the world. And actually, the CNBC they also stream out of Kigali Convention Center, which is very close to Intare Conference Arena, where we are doing the conference. So we have a good relationship with CNBC Africa. There are talks, of course, in terms of can we do live stream while we're doing the conference. However, there is a possibility, but I think I cannot confirm it online yet. I need to go back to my board. But I also just want to say there is a possibility. The one other thing we are trying to avoid is to have any of our speakers to join online, because the virtual experience and the in-person experience, they are different. I do lots of business with Jewish people, for example. They would like to meet you in person to build, because people want to do business with those that they have established a relationship and trust. So my encouragement is that you can't miss this one. You know, if you miss all other events, but you can't miss this event. If you want to change your life, if you're saying 2025 is my year, you've got to be in Rwanda. You know?
Right. You got to be Rwanda.
You got to be in Rwanda. So that's my encouragement to our guests.
Exactly. And then we have a comment saying, Nico, but I hope Play Africa TV is going to partake. This sounds really big. Thank you, Ambassador, for the great initiatives. You will definitely be hearing from me in the near future, and trust and believe.
Tonight,
this means
tonight.
it. Tonight, definitely.
You must connect me tonight.
Exactly.
My number, connect me tonight.
All right. I will definitely pass on your number. Thank you so much, Ambassador, and all the details that you're actually sharing right now. And if anything, people have questions, go on Oliver Chikodzore's socials, if anything, or you can even go on their website, which is easier that way, because that's where you get a lot of information more than just going directly to him, because trust and believe, he's also a busy man trying to get this going, right? So it's easier for you to go on the website and then get all the information that you need. And if you have any questions, feel free to come through, and then we will be able to also try and help the best way we can, those who have direct links. But definitely this is an event to go to and look forward to, really. And I wasn't shocked when I saw, Rwanda, Oliver. I was like, okay, Jatanga, there was.
If I just come in there, you see countries like Zimbabwe that always complain about budgets.
Yeah.
Even the head of state encouraging his government, his cabinet to participate, then it's something good really comes out of Jerusalem. And also just to add on the socials. So you can actually go and like us and follow us on our different socials for the event. Like on Instagram, it's ABLIS by Christos. ABLIS by Christos. That's our handle on Instagram. And on Twitter as well, it's ABLIS by Christos. And on LinkedIn and Facebook is the ABLIS.
Right.
Yes. And I think, Thando, if you can also share my WhatsApp number on the different platforms, or share with the team. I'm happy to respond on WhatsApp. I'm very good on WhatsApp. Just
very
to
quick.
Those that may have challenges. As you know, President Kagame make it easier for us. So because of the collaboration with Rwanda Development Board, Convention Bureau, and the local partners, they assist us from the airport to the venue, to the hotels. We have more than 60 volunteers that we have nominated, but they will also helping us, because within Rwanda Convention Bureau, which is an agent of the state that is responsible for organizing events and assisting us, they have 3 teams. And one of the team is just there to assist everybody on logistics. So don't worry, if you are like me, who love the finer things of life, you love that VIP experience, you all covered. We are
Oh, that
sorted.
just reminds me the person who loves finer things in life. Yeah, we spoke
Yeah,
about that earlier on.
yeah.
That is
And they have good coffee and Kirungu beer. So I know
Be
you love wine, but I will
nice.
bring some
Be
wine as
nice
well.
because I need coffee right now, and you know it. I need coffee right now, so
Yeah,
calm
just for
down.
you, just wait for Rwanda because you're not allowed to drink coffee this month.
Right? I know. That is awesome. And then so we have another question here saying from Nico Bote, how can my Africa magazine, that's the title, that's the name of the magazine, partner in this event? Can they highlight or can you be, I don't know, can you
Yes. So we do have a media partnership engagement that we have. So as
yeah,
I mentioned earlier, we have CNBC Africa, we have you guys, the after
after
five
five
radio,
radio, yeah, for
after
media
five
partnership.
radio. We have lots of media coming out of Zimbabwe, including the national channel. We have BBC that is coming
Mm,
on. And we have EIB network in Ghana that
mm,
has seven radio stations plus two TV stations and
mm,
newspapers. My president, as we speak now, she's busy in Lagos
mm,
with Vanguard newspaper and the Larry Media, which is one of the biggest media. So we do have a media engagement. We are happy to share that
mm.
with the colleague. So you can share my number with him after this
Okay.
call. We are happy to engage, whether you are a magazine, whether you're a newspaper, you're a radio station, or you're a podcast. There are different ways of engagement. Of course, we need support to amplify our mobilization, which is pre-marketing during the event as well.
Mm,
And then of course after the event. So we are happy to engage each other on the media. In Kenya, for example, we have the Blue Radio that has come on board, and we are also reaching out to Al Jazeera. There's no confirmation yet, but of course, I think in the next few days we'll be able to share with the team and say where are we on that partnership. But all media, investors, sponsors, partners, ambassadors, volunteers, we are happy to work with you. We cannot achieve this alone. We need each other. Come,
exactly. That is so true. And
we need
thank you
each other.
so much, Oliver, for all this information. And a lot of people are so interested from what I am actually seeing with the comments and text messages and the questions, really, because the future is Africa, to be honest, in as much as, some people may have actually given up on investing back home and what have you. But then I think this is a start of something huge, something different, something that will actually bring Africans together in Africa and in the diaspora as well. And we really appreciate this initiative, as Shingi has already said, that it is actually a really great initiative. And then there's a joke that just came through. I'm definitely sold on the coffee. Girl, yeah, exactly. I'm
Sweet.
losing it right now.
By the way, by the way, by the way, we're actually going to have a coffee mixer experience just for the
Nice.
in a form of a masterclass. And wherever our president, wherever she goes, I'm not promoting Rwanda too much here, but wherever my president goes, she has coffee. She has Rwandan coffee in her bag. She was recently in Dubai during a festive, engaging some of our partners and business and investors in UAE, and she was
Yeah,
drinking Rwandan coffee. So definitely, uh,
right,
there is very good coffee in Rwanda.
right.
So they also have Kirungu beer. I know Zimbabweans like to drink beer too much. There is Kirungu beer. By
Is
the
it
way, we're trying to get them
Google?
as a partner. We're trying to get them as a partner, Kirungu beer, especially when we do the golf. Because
Mm.
for me, I'm not a good player on golf, but it's an excuse for me to take a beer. So we
Right.
really
But
see
this
you
is
guys.
it. This is why people join golf. Or this is why people love.
Yeah,
I'm
but you
just
see,
saying.
that's when we sign contracts because we don't sign contracts in the boardroom.
But that's it.
Contracts are
Exactly. By
signed
the time you get
on the
into the
golf course.
boardroom, that's a done deal.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
That's a
That's
done deal.
administration. That's
Exactly.
administration. Yeah. The actual
Oh
contracts
no,
are signed there.
that is
So
awesome. That is
yeah.
awesome. And guys, so do join golf. Huh? When people laugh,
Yes.
'cause
Even Tendai, I can teach him. Tendai, you can play with me because a four ball you need two people. So if you're coming, I think Chango Kubatai, yes, today.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
No,
You have to catch me today.
I will definitely pass on your WhatsApp number, your details, and whatever people ask, I will send them right to you. And thank you so much, Oliver. This has been so interesting, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's. I just
It's
hope
crazy.
I'm sure there's gonna be a good
It's
turnout.
crazy.
What's that? Sorry.
No, and it's going to be very great. And if I can just, Amy, just to highlight on the topics
Yeah.
that we have curated,
Oh,
because we are
yes, 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 yes.
very intentional. Some of the
Yeah.
topics we talk about Pan-African integration as a catalyst for growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to remove the borders. We need to have a borderless in order for us to promote intra-Africa trade. Imagine, because if you look at the Southern Africa, we're talking about coffee now. Southern Africa's climate, they produce lots of tea
Tea. Yeah.
and coffee. And you then got East Africa, which is Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, and Ethiopia, and so forth. They produce very good coffee for some of us who love coffee. So imagine if we can work together. And also the other challenge we have in Africa, we don't develop value chains. So let's say we're talking about agriculture. When we talk about agriculture, we have to talk about the woman who is producing the agriculture products, how she can be able to value add those products, packaging, access to markets, access to investments. So it's very, very important. So Pan-African integration as a catalyst for economic growth is one of the major topics. Digital information and business innovation. How do we make Africa ready for AI? We don't want to be consumers of AI. We want to be producers of AI.
Yeah.
Leadership strategy for sustainable business. As you know, you might have seen, most people know about South Africa a lot because we're so much in the media about state capture, corruption and all that. But I mean, state capture, corporate governance, it touches on companies, on business, on individuals, on society, as well as on government. So I think we address the issue of leadership and corporate governance. That's why we need academia, we need government, we need businesses to come together.
Oh no, network. Okay.
The hashtag Africa that we want.
Okay, I think we kind of missed you a little bit where you were talking about the leadership strategies for sustainable success, because you kind of froze a little bit.
Okay, so I was talking about the leadership strategy for sustainable success.
Yeah.
And I was saying that leadership is very important on the continent.
Yeah.
Not just for government people, but also for individuals, for small business, for academia, and for corporates. In order for us, we need to have corporate governance. We need to address those issues. And how do we build authentic leadership on the continent to address the challenge that we face? I think Paul Kagame, if you look at Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, they are some of the leading examples of how leadership can be able to move people out of poverty and create economic growth, ease of trade and access to capital and markets. One of the challenges is how do we, as entrepreneurs, if we are selling services or products, how do we access markets? How do we develop value chains? How do we access investments? What are the requirements of us, of me as a business to access investments? So we're going to be addressing those issues. That's why we are very intentional about the topics, about the structure of the program, about the engagements. So we have you covered in terms of we want to create the commercial value for everyone attending, whether you are a small business, whether you're academia, whether you media, whether you're just an entrepreneur, we have you covered.
And one of my friends also, Shingish, is active today. Thank you so much, Shingi, for tuning in and being active. And she's like, Amanda, you play golf. I expect you to be there representing the Amanda Notando show. Oh, trust and believe. Me and Oliver already on it. There's more to talk about. And then also we have Tendai again coming in. So they count me in wherever there's money. I am there. I'm not allergic in counting dollars. Oh, Tendai is not allergic. And Tendai is also, Tendai is an actor who's in Hollywood. And he also has he has built a school back in Zimbabwe for the kids, and he is also an author and also trying to do taking the kids back into how we were raised, right? With storytelling and Nagodo and what have you. So he also just released a book. So he's another person who I am sure when he says I'm not allergic to counting dollars, I believe him. Trust me. So I'll also give him your details as he said. Okay, I am I'm actually, he's interested, trust and believe.
And I like the fact that he is doing, there's a huge social impact on what he is doing.
Yes,
And one of the things that
yes,
we need to do, as I mentioned earlier, is how do we capacitate our
yes.
people, for those who cannot help themselves, so that we can be able to encourage talent, develop
Yeah,
talent, and of
yeah.
course build businesses for the
Mm-hmm.
development of the continent. So I commend his work that he's doing is so much commentable. If he's in the media space, we are in the media space as well. So we do quite a lot on documentaries, showcasing the stories that inspires the people. I think Africa, we've been talking about a lot of negative stuff. There's so much positiveness there's so much to show that is positive about Africa. So I'm really looking forward to engage, and I'm looking forward to see him in Kigali in the golf course.
Awesome. Yes. And then well done, Tendai. I am going to slide into your DMs. And if you want a number to Shingi, I got his number too. But no, actually, I would need to talk to him.
Only today, you must pay consultants fees, yeah? You must pay consultants fees to you.
I think they need to pay consultants. No, but the good thing about Tendai, I don't just distribute Tendai's number because Tendai is particular about his number. So
Okay.
I guess slide into the DMs. And if anything, yes, if anything, we will ask him for his consent. And also, thank you so much. G10100 says, great job, interviewer. And is there a question from Tendai? Is there an online platform to watch the program? Oh, by the way, Tendai, if you missed earlier on, he mentioned that he's yet to confirm that for those who cannot make it, because Tendai is also so busy, just so you know. He's a really busy guy out there. So I can...
Was Tendai, by the way, was Tendai the one who won dollars?
What do you mean, who won dollars? Oh, yes. The one who won dollars, so he has to be there.
In South Africa, we say walala wasala. If you sleep, you left behind. So if you really want those dollars, maybe let Tendai go to my Instagram.
Yeah.
Oliver Chikodzore. If you go to my Instagram, you see I have the last post that is pinned. You can check how much I charge per hour, $50,000 to speak.
Oh, okay.
Just to speak in a conference.
Now
so you can just go there and let me just have a look.
You've actually...
So if you really want to be in, if you really want to make those dollars, he better be in Rwanda. Walala wasala. If he sleeps,
yeah.
You can't be there. So there are some things you can be busy for. But you can't be busy. You know, the future is bright. Not just the future is bright for Africa.
I know. Well, the thing is, I can relate to him. He's in the film industry, so sometimes it depends on...
I know how to spend money. I want to teach him how to make money. You know.
I'm sure he'll be reaching out, and I'm sure he can actually take a break just for this, because it's only a week project, man. It's only a week summit. But yeah, that is so hilarious. Yeah, Tendai will definitely be there. And Shingi's like, Rwanda, here I come. I am coming.
And we forgot the Minister of Foreign Affairs issued a statement. The Minister of Mines in Rwanda 3 days ago. They just found oil. It's another sector. They just found oil in Kirungu, close to the border of DRC in Rwanda. So there's so many opportunities. And apart from what we are doing now, there are few smart cities.
Yeah,
that some of our colleagues from Africans based in Netherlands that are building in Rwanda that are collaborating with us.
Right.
So there's quite a lot happening in Rwanda in terms of project and investment opportunities and collaboration opportunities with Rwanda. Right. So there's a lot where it comes from. Ooh. Let me be like Nigerian today.
I know, right? All my Nigerian people, those are actually tuned in. Let me be Nigerian today. Hey, we allow you, Oliver. We allow you.
I am an African.
Yeah, in Africa, right? And those who are actually asking my cousin, who is actually based in the UK as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, Chris. What's the website? The website is right below here, www.theablis.com, for more information and in-depth insight and the highlights and everything. And if anything, the good thing is this is going to be up on all our socials. We have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, IG, you name it. we are everywhere. So this video is here to stay, and share around to people who are not able to tune in today because, of course, time difference and what have you, people may be busy. But you know what, Oliver, you've given so much information, which I believe it was a lot to take in. But the last couple of topics to address that you didn't finish through, just in case some people may fall under that, we have the SMEs and we have the sustainability and prosperity across all sectors and stuff like that. Did you touch on that?
Yeah, so it's very important. So as I mentioned earlier, that this event is across sectors. So if you look into the agriculture, the tech, I spoke about AI. We don't just want to be AI consumers. We want to be AI producers. And how do we make Africa ready for AI? AI is not here to take our jobs, but we have to embrace it, and we have to be able to use it to our advantage in terms of creating solutions that are conducive for the African continent. So there's also small and medium enterprises, different topics, and how do we create sustainable growth for the continent. There's dual room structure, whereby we'll be bringing project promoters, startups who want to pitch their businesses, and then we'll be bringing investors. I say 133 VCs confirmed. We have investors from China, we have investors from Korea, we have investors from South Africa, we have UK, we have Mauritius that is confirmed to participate at this event. There's so much that is also investors who are interested in mining sector, tourism infrastructure. There's also a lot of collaboration, as you know, that Rwanda is also very big on tourism. And there's a lot of assistance and incentives that the government is giving through Rwanda Development Board to those who want to invest in Rwanda or who want to collaborate with local businesses in Rwanda. So there's so much business opportunities that we'll be discussing within the different programs and activities, including roundtables and so forth. So, I mean, even if you see me, I won't just stand up or jump on a project that charge $50,000 an hour, jump on the ABLIS project. So you're gonna have to join. If you want to change your life in 2025, this is the conference to attend.
Right. And once again, guys, the deadline for registration is February 3rd. And I think you've been given ample time. This is why we did the interview today on January 18th. So you have another 2 weeks for you to register and plan. Really, I know it may be last minute for some people who are in the diaspora with time off and stuff like that, but as long as you can, if you can get the opportunity to fly out and be a part of the summit, please do. And then Shingi says, mindset change. Nothing changes when nothing changes. That's what she always says, because that's the name of her latest book, Mindset Change. People should also read that book. It is very valuable for a shifting of the mind where you have a different view of life.
Yeah, I would definitely want to, by the way, I would definitely like to engage on that book because I do a lot of really workshops and masterclasses on how to cultivate a successful mindset.
Yeah.
Everything is mindset.
Yeah.
You need to change your mindset first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I would love to engage you on that book. And yes, we need to have a success mindset.
Exactly.
I call it a software. My friend just wrote a book. It's called the Owner's Manual of the Mind. And mine is called the Owner's Manual of Entrepreneurs. Yes.
Is it on? Oh yeah. Just send me the title on WhatsApp and then I will.
It's not available yet. It's coming soon, but it's called the Owner's Manual of the Mind. So I'll definitely share. And what I want to encourage our audience here is that in order for you to get maximum information, please keep engaging us on the different social media platforms, on our platforms, because we'll be providing more information every day. And I think definitely we have to come back on this show just before the conference to engage more on those that would like to have additional information.
Right. And then also by then we will know whether or not there's going to be a live a virtual live attendance. Yeah, for people.
We have a board meeting soon, so I don't want to encourage it, but we will see what we can do.
Exactly. We for those people. So just pray that this, comes through. But still, I think it will be better and more beneficial for you to be there in attendance, like you said, especially for those who play golf. Usually, deals are signed on the course rather than in the office.
And for those who want dollars, I mean,
And those
people
who
like
want
Shingy, they
dollars
can't
for
miss it.
sure. And those who want dollars for sure. It's all about the paper, honey. And Shingy's like, I'm glad I tuned in. Great interview, Ambassador and Amanda. Happy to connect and network. Thank you so much, Shingy, for coming through, and everybody else that was actually tuned in. Definitely, we're going to hang out with Oliver again. Just a couple of days before the conference, and I'm just hoping that his schedule would actually be good for just a good 30 minutes at the very least, because
the invoice will go to Shingy, so you don't have to worry. Even if it's 1 hour, Shingy will take care of the bill.
Okay, Shingy. Even if it's 1 hour, we'll take care of you. You heard it for yourself. And this
Shingy will take. So
gonna be here.
Send the bill to Shingy. Send the bill to Shingy. And I might just say to our audience today, they are very privileged. By the way, on a serious note, they are very privileged to tune in, because they will be able to get access to us. Normally, they won't get access to us easily.
Directly,
and provide all these solutions and stuff. So it is a very, very, because apart from me, we've got a president, we've got a whole esteemed board.
Yeah.
And I think you have seen it.
I've seen the whole board. Yeah.
You've seen it. And these are these are global minds. Global minds. And hang out with the best if you want to be successful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Oliver. This was really valuable information, and a whole lot more that's yet to come. We look forward to it, because I was like, when I was looking at it, I was even laughing with our producer. I was like, yo, Africa's not playing. I was looking I was like, Africa, I don't know,
what are you still doing in Canada? I'm saying, what are you still doing in Canada? Because it's cold, by the way.
Canada.
It's cold in February. You better produce live from Rwanda, because it's very cold in February, by the way. So
I don't know what but this is it. We said we're going to talk more, which if it's an opportunity that's going to open up Mula, yes, of course, what would I still be doing, especially in February here? Especially in February. How did you know, Oliver? How did you know that February is the worst, yo? Like, why are you actually reminding me? We're still in January. I don't even want to think about it.
No, it's because I do quite a lot of work with Canada. We participated at the innovation program. My mom lives in Canada, so we do quite a lot with Canada, with US. We global minds, global business people. Right. So we understand how to harness ideas, African ideas, and take them to the globe.
Right.
So we have done quite a lot with Canada. So, and we love Canada also for another fact, which most people don't understand, is that the Canadian immigration system is really conducive for the African people.
Yes.
They are trying to ease it for African people comparing the US and other European countries. So there is a cordial.
Unfortunately, I'm going to burst your bubble a little bit, because that's kind of about it. Well, it kind of changed for a bit, because immigration has kind of changed a bit, especially for the African people. But I believe it is actually going to improve. Like you said, Canada welcomes diversity, and it welcomes lots of immigrants. But for a bit, they actually put it out there, and I think I've actually posted on my socials as well to say they're no longer taking immigration, especially and they're actually chucking some people out, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was because of the Russia-Ukraine.
Yes.
Because
it was because of the Ukraine.
A little bit affected.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are still better comparing to US and others.
Oh, absolutely. When you get the opportunity, definitely better than the States, definitely.
But I'm not encouraging people to come to Canada. I'm encouraging Canadian business to come to Africa.
To come to Africa, exactly. And then again, keep in mind,
I must keep the record straight.
You need to keep the record straight. But then maybe, who knows? You said you love Canada for one thing, because immigration and stuff, right? But maybe there's lots of also collaborations that will come out of Canada with Rwanda, right? It would be easier that way compared to other diaspora countries, really.
We use our soybeans. I mean, soybeans that you eat in Canada is coming from Africa. We're supplying soybeans and lots of food. So why not invest back where your mouth is, which is Africa?
Exactly.
I'm looking for a big delegation from Canada.
Right? I think you're already getting one right here. But anyway,
I'm not negotiating. There's no negotiations.
Okay, you're gonna have to go through my producer right now. Anyway, thank you so much, Oliver. We're now past our time, but I really appreciate just hanging out with you here. Everybody who tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in, and those who just came late. I know it's Saturday. It could be a busy morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. Feel free to go on www.theablis.com for more information, registration. Just getting to know even I believe on your website you actually have your whole team as well, the one that you shared with me.
Yes, so the whole team is also there on the website.
Yeah.
And of course, we are going to update because there's so much key partners and speakers that just
Yes.
confirmed recently as they were
Yeah.
coming out of the holidays.
Yeah.
So by this coming week, we will be able to also update. But please go to our socials as well as to our website. And by the way, I wanted to say thank you to After 5 Radio, to Emmy, ThandoAmy, Amanda, what you're doing, your work is commendable. We really appreciate Africans in diaspora that are actually, giving back to the continent. So we appreciate the opportunity. And on behalf of the ABLIS team and the Christos team, thank you so much for allowing us to be on this platform. I'm looking forward to play golf with you, of course, with the permission of the producer, and to do many more with After 5 Radio. So we're not just collaborating on this project, but also collaborating on so many other projects that will help us to build the #Africa that we want. They say gratitude is a sign of a noble soul. We are very grateful, and well done, and keep doing what you're doing in supporting the African agenda.
Absolutely.
Salute.
No, thank you so much. We also appreciate when I heard about like the media partnership. I was like, what? I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, because even After 5 Radio is global. We have After 5 Radio Zanzi. We have After 5 Radio Niger as well, which of course, when we talk about Africa, and then we have a lot of presenters who are everywhere out in the diaspora and back in Africa. So we really appreciate, partnering up with you guys as your media partners, and just for coming through. It is actually a blessing and a pleasure and an opportunity, really. It's also a huge opportunity for everybody that's involved to say, what, we really appreciate partnering up. And like you said, you only go further in partnership rather than just by yourself, right? So
yeah, I think that's what we've learned from COVID-19, that one should have critical thinking, but one should collaborate intentionally to achieve a set of objectives. That's why I'm saying let's all collaborate to achieve this objective, this vision. Let's go ABLIS 2025.
Right, exactly. And also, I have good news for you, Oliver, before we close up. And now you have a UK representative. I've elected myself. And
we're actually looking for an ambassador from UK, so you can join the ambassador team.
Yes, there you go, Shingi. There's a whole lot more opening up for you right here. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I think, you know what, I'm actually beginning to think that this could be a good time for After 5 Radio to have a show, because sometimes with the time difference, it's difficult for us to open up with the UK, right? So I think now
I think, as you say, this is the right time, because now UK is 2 hours behind South Africa.
Yeah.
So which means, it's 2 hours behind South Africa because it's winter that side. But I think this time of the evening is more or less okay for everyone, because for us it's evening, for you guys it's morning, and for UK it's also evening. So I think it's quite flexible because as we are streaming, of course, for Korea it's a bit late, so they can only watch tomorrow.
Exactly. No, but then again, when you think about it, it's like, okay, where's like the audience? Think about it. Most African people in Korea, or they're in Europe. You understand that they're in Asia or Europe or America. So it would be
Europe and Americas.
Exactly.
You got the big chunk Europe and Americas.
Exactly. So, looking at the demographics as well is really important. And I just noticed right now, I'm like, because I know every time Shing is like, oh my gosh, I missed it, because the time that I usually go on air would be midnight on my end, and it'll be around 5 a.m. UK time. Right. So that kind of makes it difficult. So I'm actually beginning to think like we should shift things around. And this has actually been an eye opener as well. So we really appreciate it.
I'll send the invoice to your producer.
Well, you should send the invoice to our producer too. Yes, I like that. Andy, I hope you can hear this. This one's to you.
Shingi's already happy now that he's gonna pay half and the producer half. So at least
Exactly.
I'm helping to get a discount.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Oliver. And right now,
Thank you so much.
finally, we're saying goodbye. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. The website is right here. I hope everybody's gotten the information. But if you missed the interview and are just tuning in right now, good news is we're going to be having this up on the After Five Radio YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. And we're definitely going to be having a lot more guests who are going to be on After Five Radio.
Can we have a target? 1 million subscribers by
By
28th
the
of
end of
February?
yes.
1 million subscribers on After Radio. So I'm
Did you say
challenging
February?
all Africans across the world.
Did you say
1 million
February?
subscribers. Can we do that?
I think we can if we put our minds to it. I think
We are
we
putting
can.
it now.
Oh,
Okay,
let's
let's
put
be
it now.
proactive.
Consistency.
So please, I want you to go and subscribe now. And
Yes, please.
if you are subscribed, you may get an extra 5% again.
Yes, there you go, guys. And
So
also, by
let's
the
go
way,
at this.
and also, by the way, those who missed earlier on, Oliver was saying if you use his name, what code do they use for them to get a
So they
discount?
use so if you go on the website, you're trying to register, there's a way to ask you for a referee. So a referee
Okay.
is the name of a recommendation.
Yeah.
So if you use Ambassador Oliver, my name as it is here,
Yeah.
on the platform, you will get a 5% discount automatically.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. See, guys, 5% discount automatically. But then if you subscribe, you have another 5%. So
We can talk, we can negotiate, yes, definitely.
there's another. Now we're
No, we want
negotiating.
1 million subscribers. Remember, we have a target to achieve.
We have a target to achieve. I like that. Thank you so much, Oliver, and everybody else that was tuned in. Oliver, thank you so much. I wish you a wonderful and successful summit coming up, and definitely we're going to hang out again just before, a week before it happens, or actually we're now 2 weeks before it happens, maybe a couple of days before it happens, so that we can actually see where we're at, what else we need to put it out there, so people can also be a part of it and partner up and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'll remind you early because I may be live from the from the Kigali resort.
We like that. We like that. Yes. Definitely do so. Thank you so much, Oliver. We will link up again and we'll pass on the details. And guys, thank you so much for coming through. That was the Ambassador Oliver Chikodzore, who's actually the VP of the summit of ABLIS, really, and ABLIS standing for the Africa Business Leadership and Investment Summit. So please do go on their website and get more details for those who actually missed the interview. But even if you missed the interview, because I know sometimes it is nicer when you hear it from the host's mouth or the people talking rather than reading through, go on the ablis.com and all their social platforms. You will find them there. But thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely, we are actually coming back full on Tough Love Giggles. And one thing that we've noticed, as you heard, is holy, I think we need to change the times because engagement is really important. So we know what it is that you want us to do and what it is that how you want us to improve, because we're really open to criticism and feedback. So thank you so much. I am your host, aka the Hype Lady, and I am signing off. Take care. God bless you. And I love you. Bye.